Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. It's Ijoma here, and in today's video we're going to learn how to make this beautiful dress. It is an asoebi dress, and this is the lace that I have. This lace has been trending recently in Nigeria for all these asoebi or wambe. First of all, I'm going to be cutting the skirt part, and I'm cutting down the skirt part on my doll face first before cutting it on my lace. The thing is, if I am cutting a lace, I prefer cutting on my doll face because I'm using a doll face as the lining, and this is an A-line skirt, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is to fold down my fabric. Then I'll place my half length at the top. Her half length is 16 inches, and from there I will mark her shoulder to hip, that is 27. Her shoulder to knee is 36. Her shoulder to knee is 36. Then the full length of the dress, I want to make it 64. She's not too tall, but had it been she's tall, I would have made it 65. From 65 and above, I would like it to be very long, but now she is not tall, so I am making it 63 or 64 inches. After doing that, I'll go ahead and connect the lines, and after connecting the lines, I'll start taking my body measurements. Her waist is 34 inches, her hip is 44, and we are going to derive the knee measurement from the hip measurement. So the hip is 44, right? I'll divide it by 4, that is 11 plus 2 inches, that is 13. I marked 13. Her waist divided by 4 is 8.5 plus 2, that is 10.5. At the knee, I will divide her hip by 4 and I'll mark exactly what I have. Her hip divided by 4 is 11, right? So I marked 11 at the knee. Her hip is 44. I will divide the 44 by 4 and I'll get 11. So I marked the 11 at the knee length, and I'll go ahead and mark my straight line. So after doing that, I'll go ahead and cut this out. This is the front of the skirt. Like, this is the front part of the skirt. After cutting out this front part, I'll use it to cut out the back, and this is an A-line shape. Some people do ask the width I use for the down part. You can use 20 inches, from 20 and above at the full length, that is on fold, 20 inches on fold. Now I'll place it on another fabric, and this fabric is not enough to be on fold, so I'm cutting the back 1 so I'm adding my zipper allowance to 2 inches, and when I get to the knee, I'll stop. Then from that knee, I will give it a tail or train, like I'll give it a fish shape. It can be anything. I'm trying to call it a name that so many of us can relate to. Now I'll go ahead and connect this, and after connecting it, I will connect it to the side of this skirt. So this one that I'm cutting right now is the center back. At the center back, you will add like 2 inches for your zipper allowance, and then from there you will mark your tail or your train. Right here, I will connect from the center to the side. After doing this, the next thing that I'm going to do is to cut out the side. Of course, the sides will be equal, just that the center back will be a bit longer than the side, so that it will give us this tail shape. So I'm trying to make sure that the center back is straight, and right now it is straight. So going ahead, we will start cutting this on our lace. Like I said, I prefer cutting on my doll face before cutting on my lace. I'll go ahead and fold my lace, and after folding out my lace, I'll start cutting. thing that I'm going to do now is to cut the upper part. For the upper part, I'll have to draft on a pattern to make things easy for us. So the pattern is going to be a normal bustier. This is not a corset, it is a normal bustier, but it has a back lacing. From the top, I'll mark my bust point 10, my under bust 13, the half length is 16 and a half, and then I'll add extra 2 inches to the full length, and I'll go ahead and rule the lines. After ruling these lines, from my bust point, I'll go by 2 inches, and that will be my chest line. So this is my chest line. It is 2 inches above my bust point. You can call it armhole line. Bust point, under bust, half length, and allowance. That is what I've labeled right here. Chest line, bust point, under bust, half length, allowance. The next thing that I'm going to do is to mark my shoulder, and her shoulder is 16 inches. So if you divide 16 into 2, it will be 8, and I'll add half an inch. So this will have a shoulder pad, right? So for my shoulder slant, I'll just make it 1 inch. I don't want her shoulder to be that straight. It will have a shoulder pad, so I'll just make it 1 inch, and I will connect it straight down to my chest line. For the neckline, I will use 3 by 3. It will have a turtleneck, but I am using 3 by 3 for her because she is somehow thick. She's not too slim, but had it been she's slim, I will use 3 inches for her width, and then I will use 2.5 for the neck width and 3 inches for the neck depth. Then I'm using 1 inch for the shoulder slant. And after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark 4 inches for my bust point line, and I'm connecting it from the allowance straight up to the chest line. And this is my nipple to nipple. Nipple to nipple is 8 divided by 2, that is 4. So now I'll go up by 1 inch or 1.5 from the chest line, so that her breast or her bust will not be showing. I don't want her cleavage to show. Then I'll curve out my yoke. After curving my yoke, I'll take out 2 inches at the under bust, and I'll connect it straight down to the allowance. After connecting it straight down to the allowance, from that under bust, you make a curve to meet the bust point. Like after taking out 2 inches at the under bust, you make a curve to meet the bust point. Then at the chest line, you will take out 2 inches. Like from this center line, from that line to this place that I marked is 2 inches. So take out like 1.5 or 2 inches for your upper bust tightening. Then at your under bust, you take out half an inch straight down to the allowance, and you make a curve to the bust point also. This one is on the center piece of this paper, like on the center piece of the paper. That is what you are going to do. So right now, the next thing that I'm going to do is to mark my armhole. Sorry, I have not marked my armhole. I'll mark my armhole before cutting out my yoke, my center piece, my side piece, and then the measurements. For me, I don't like taking my measurements this way. I don't like it flat. I'll cut out my darts. I'll close my darts on paper before I take my body measurements. Like, it works very well for me. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. It works very well for me. So the next thing that I'm going to do right now is to place my paper on the side. Like, I'll place my the center of piece or part of this paper. I'll place it on the side. Then I'll take my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance, waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance, and then I will connect. Her bust is 39, her waist is 34. You divide them by 4 and then add 2 inches for seam allowance, and then I'll cut out. Taking my measurement this way works very well for me. The back will not be wider, the front, everything will just sit in place. So the next thing that we are going to do right now is to place the front paper. I don't like wasting so much time, so using this front, I'll cut out my back. I'll place the yoke, I'll place the center, and I'll place the side. And you can see that the back paper is 1 inch shorter than the front, and that is how it's supposed to be. So you cut out the side, cut out the armhole. For the neckline, the neck width will remain 3.3, but the neck depth will be 3 by 1.5. And then if you notice, I did not add any zipper allowance to this because we are going to lace it at the back. We are tying it at the back, so I did not add any zipper allowance. Instead, from this back piece, I will even cut out another 2 inches so that I can have enough space for the lacing. Now from the neckline, come down by 2 inches and make your curve, and this will be that curve at the center back of a yoke. This is the curve. Then from the center, go in by 2 inches or 2.5 and mark a straight line down. This is the area where you will cut out. You know, if you look at the back of a corset, they tie it, right? So in between that 2 sides, you will have a space. So that 2.5 that I took out is the space in between the 2 sides of the back area. Now, after cutting out my yoke, this is what I have, right? The next thing that I'm going to do right here is to cut out these pieces on my lining, and then I'll cut on the main fabric. My main fabric is velvet. The lining is doll face, so I like cutting out on the thicker fabric before transferring to the doll face, before transferring to the velvet, sorry. So now I want to add a basque waistline, and this is how I add my basque waistline with my basic bustier. Like if you draft a basic bustier, this is how I add my basque waistline. From the normal half length, or the allowance, from the normal half length, I'll add like extra 5 inches, come down by like extra 5 or 6 inches and mark a straight line. Then you will connect. That is it. Just add like extra 5 inches, you connect. Then cut out the center piece and cut out the side piece. You don't have to do too much. And I'm adding my allowance also. So you can see that I've added like extra 5 inches to the full length. Then I'll cut out the side piece and I'll cut out the center piece. So after doing this, what else are we going to do? What you're going to do is that I will place it after cutting this particular part, like the side and the breast curve, like the breast cut area, that bust curve. After cutting it out, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to overlap them. Like the way I overlapped them when I was taking my measurement, I'll overlap them. You can see I notched my under bust, is important. I'll overlap them and then cut my basque. This is really easy. You don't have to do too much. It makes things easy for you. Now I'll go ahead and cut out my back piece and I'll start cutting my velvet. Now I am done cutting my velvet and it is time to cut the sleeve. So this is a chantilly lace. We call it chantilly lace. It's light. Some people call this jollof lace, but we call it chantilly lace. I want to cut out the scallop edge. It has a scallop edge, so I'm trying to like cut it out, and then I will cut out the amount of fabric that I'll use for the gathers around the sleeve first of all. And you know, if you check that sleeve, the edge has this scallop edge, so I'm trying to like cut out this scallop edge before cutting the basic sleeve. So now after cutting the scallop edge, the next thing that I'm going to do is to cut out the length. I want the length to be 7 inches, like 7 inches. After, I'll fold my fabric and I'll measure 7 inches and then cut out. After cutting out this side, I'll also cut out the second one for the other side of this. That is for the right sleeve and for the left sleeve. Now after cutting, I'll go ahead and cut out my basic sleeve. Already I have taken out 7 inches for the gathers for that sleeve, right? I've taken out 7 inches already. The next thing that I'm going to do is to take out 7 inches from the full length of my normal sleeve. The total length of my sleeve is 25 inches, so I'll take out 7 inches from 25 and I'll be having around, let's say 16, I'll be having around 18 inches. So the length of this particular basic sleeve is 18 inches. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to cut out my normal armhole. Then that is it. The other one will be for the gathers. So after doing that, we are going to cut out our yoke. I like cutting out my sleeve first of all from my lace before cutting the yoke. I'll cut the front yoke and the back yoke. Now we are done cutting out our yoke, and this is our skirt. I have turned the sides of the front with my doll face. You can see what I have right there. I've turned the sides and I repeated the same thing at the back. The sides and the zipper allowance of the back, I have turned everything. Then you will close your zipper allowance, and this is what you will have at the center back. You open it up and iron. So you can see the center back of our skirt is full. Now let's make our sleeve before we conclude for the part 1. This video is long, it's almost 20 minutes, and this is just part 1. So in the part 2 we'll finish up. Now I'll go ahead and gather my chantilly lace. Like I'll gather it around there. This is for the right hand, and I'll also repeat the same thing at the left hand side. And after doing my gathers, this is what I have. After these gathers, I'll go ahead and shape them, and that is where we'll stop for this part 1. I don't want you guys to get bored. This video is really long, and I'm trying to like include everything so that we will understand. After closing my gathers, this is what we have. And guys, do not forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Notification is very important so that anytime I upload the part 2 of this video, YouTube will notify you. So thank you guys so much, and do not forget to subscribe. We have online classes. In case you are interested in our online class, you can drop a text in the comment section and I will direct you on how to register. See you all in my next video. Bye.